95 responds. For months, we've been digging into a so-called real estate PONZI scheme. It's accused of financially decimating dozens of Southside families, and those allegations are detailed in recent lawsuits filed against a home flipping business called IflipChicago.
Now, they're accused of luring inexperienced investors into predatory loans, resulting in bankruptcies and a slew of foreclosures across the Woodlawn area. And since our first story aired last month, more alleged victims have contacted PJ Randawa, showing us the supposed scheme may have an even bigger impact than we first thought.
They promised a path to financial freedom, a shot at building generational wealth.
Make an investment and leave a legacy for your children and your children's children.
Ramo.
Ain't that what they all say? Isn't that the blueprint to what they all say? Leave a legacy for your children. They say that right before they try to sell y'all something. They say that right before they pitch y'all their latest scam or the latest Ponzi scheme that they involved in, the latest business opportunity. Leave something for your family. Leave a legacy for your kids. Right? Everybody uses the same terminology. I've used it before, but I've used it in videos where I've talked about investing. I've never asked y'all once for a dime. I've never asked y'all once to donate to anything. Beware. I want y'all to beware of people like this that come out here and they asking you for donations. They asking you to participate in some bullshit. And they're using the terminology of, oh, come in so you can set your family up so they could be financially set. Because they all say it. Leave a legacy for your kids. Generational wealth. Right?
Mo and Michelle Bay run IflipChicago, and if you have a little bit of money to invest, they claim to provide everything else you need to successfully flip a home, from the contractors to the funding.
We have over $30 million worth of rehab funding.
But according to two lawsuits, Ramo Bay allegedly lured inexperienced investors into signing up for predatory loans with him. The loan...
Isn't this in the same vein of Jay Morrison? This is damn near, okay? Close to the same. Why are y'all still falling for the same scams, just repackaged in different casings? I don't understand. Y'all claim y'all so smart. Y'all so fucking smart. But y'all can't see this play coming from a mile away. And then some of y'all be like, oh, don't blame the people. It's not the people's fault. Damn, that it is the people's fault. Because who told y'all to invest with these clowns? Why would you not do some research before you put your money somewhere? We got to take some accountability in this, right? We can't just put it all on them. If a person is running a scam, is running a Ponzi scheme, and nobody show up and pay for it, and nobody show up and buys into it, or nobody shows up and supports it financially, then they got nothing. They get nothing. They walk away with zero. No money, no funds, no nothing. They can't run it. It takes money to support and run these things. And they get that from you all.
Loans were cross-collateralized, meaning if Ramo fell behind on any other loans in his name, the iFlip investors he recruited would be responsible for paying his debt.
That's insane. Did y'all hear what she just said? In case you're behind a little bit, or in case you didn't get all of that, what she said was, this fool and his wife basically coaxed people, new investors, into a business opportunity where they would invest and throw their money at him and his wife. And him and his wife were in turn supposed to take that money and invest it into businesses, or into properties rather, where those properties would in turn return some type of cash payout, some type of capital or financial return. What they didn't read in that paperwork, right, Because I'm pretty sure they have anywhere from 50 to 100 pages of documents to go through and sign. But y'all don't sign them. Y'all just go in and y'all sit down with your ink pen and y'all just sign anything. Nobody reads anything. Nobody researches anything. You go in, you sign, you give your John Hancock, and you post on Instagram and Facebook right after that. Hey, I am now a property owner. I am now an entrepreneur. I am now a real estate investor, right? Because we get excited about those things. We get excited about titles. Something we can show off to our friends. Something we can put up as a headline or a post on Facebook or some bullshit like that, right? We don't really do the research. So they went in there, they signed the papers. Little did they know that this clown had them sign papers that basically said, if he falls behind on any of his other ventures, or any of his other properties, that they are liable to pay the costs of him falling behind in something that they have nothing to even do with. And properties that they have nothing to do with. They'll never see, they'll never get their hands on, they'll never be a part of, they'll never reap any of the benefits of owning it, none of it. They still liable. Why? Because they signed it. Read before you sign something, please. Have an attorney, somebody you trust, go through and read that paperwork. It's absolutely important. Because when you don't, this is what happens. Got another video. Because that was the video they put out before. Well, they continued the investigation, right? They continued this investigation, and here's what they came up with afterwards.
NBC5 responds, a bad business model or a Ponzi scheme? That's what several people who invested money with a popular Chicago home flipping business are asking themselves tonight.
The owners of IflipChicago are accused in lawsuits of luring inexperienced investors into predatory loans, leading to financially devastating consequences for dozens of Chicago families. PJ Rendawa unravels how things went wrong.
If you're interested in actually learning how to flip homes.
In late 2020, Amira Hadid signed up for a home flipping boot camp offered by real estate company IflipChicago.
IflipChicago boot camps is 100% hands-on.
This is something that my mom always wanted to do, and I'm a fan of HGTV.
Yeah, and it's your own cousin.
Yeah, and who can't trust family?
My name is Ramo Bay, and it's my wife.
So she got scammed by her own cousin. This was her very own cousin. So she knew that it was a Ponzi scheme and still allowed her own flesh and blood to sign up to this. This is how greedy y'all are. This is how greedy people are for money. They don't care who they take down in the process of getting where it is that they want to go. They don't care about you. They don't care about your kids. They don't care about what you got going on in your life. They do not care. All they care about is making it to the mountaintop, and they'll climb over any dead body that they can use to get there. Which is why I say all the time, vet the people that you are signing up to follow, invest with, and throw your money at. Vet these people. I don't care if they blood related. Vet them. What track history do they have? What financial deals have they already secured? What is their history with investing, with money? Her very own flesh and blood. Let her sign up for this bullshit. Crazy. You have to see me.
Michelle Nicole Bay.
That's Amira's cousin, Michelle Bay. She and her husband, Ramo Bay, run IflipChicago. In addition to boot camps, the company offers joint venture partnerships to first-time investors who want to flip a home.
There were a lot of people who had successfully done flips with him.
Tatiana Barnett is a realtor and iFlip boot camp graduate. Both she and Amira say after the boot camp, they were recruited into iFlip's joint venture program. It was supposed to...
What are these certificates that they holding up? What are these certificates that they holding up? Do these certificates actually do or mean anything? You graduate a boot camp. Okay. What does that give you? In the real world, what does that translate to? Are you able to take that certificate and apply it to anything in the real world? Again, we just like titles and documents and certificates and shit. So, something we could put on the wall. Shit that don't mean anything, right? What can you apply these certificates to in the real, actual world? Because if you can't do anything with it, then it's useless. My God.
Work like this. Participants would have to provide some upfront capital. iFlip would find the property, provide access to the lender, and oversee the renovation. Then iFlip would sell the home for you and take 30% of the total profit.
You don't have to worry about any of this stuff because they have all of these relationships.
To get financing through iFlip's preferred lender, Ramo Bey told the women his name had to be on their loan.
Being in real estate, it's not something that's unheard of.
Hey, can I tell y'all something? And this is not, listen, I am by no means a business owner. But here's what I know, just on a basic level, okay? Here's what I can tell you, is that anybody that claims to be an all-in-one service, red flag. Anyone that claims to be an all-in-one service, especially when you're dealing with real estate, immediate red flag. How you gonna be the banker, the investor, the fixer-upper, and the contractor? How you everything?
If you don't have a track record of doing, fix and flips with lenders.
At closing, each woman hired iFlip's preferred real estate attorney, Alex Ranja, to represent them. But Tatiana says Ranja never showed up at her closing. They didn't know it yet, but in hindsight, this is where they say things went terribly wrong. Buried in the hundreds of pages of documents they signed during closing were 4 sentences in the loan agreement that put them on the hook for Ramo Bey's debts. It was part of a cross-default and collateralization clause that meant if Ramo went delinquent on any of his own loans, the lender would charge what Ramo owed to the loans he held with other iFlip participants, like Amira and Tatiana.
My God.
And Ramo had several past due balances.
The women's loan documents show they were charged thousands in cross-interest fees, all transferred from Ramo's delinquent loans.
This was never about flipping property. This was about taking loans out to pay a debt that didn't belong to us.
The loans then went on to fail. They were never written to succeed. They were predatory loans.
Now lawsuits recently filed by both women say iFlip lured them into a real estate investment Ponzi scheme, and the lender and real estate attorney were in on it.
So instead of you getting the money to pay the contractors and renovate the home, what was happening with it?
We have no idea where the money is.
How much are we talking about here?
I have lost $169,000.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
We are at risk of losing over $200,000.
Our desire was to elevate the Black community, rebuild and redevelop our neighborhoods.
And the Woodlawn community Ramo and Michelle claim they wanted to revitalize now has 2 more vacant and decaying homes dotting its landscape.
So this property has been this way since 2022.
Sandra Robinson lives next to the home Amira was never able to finish renovating.
It's an eyesore. I hope something gets to be done.
It's disgusting that this is 2 years later and we have no answer. We have more questions than answers.
We found at least 7 iFlip investment properties, including Tatiana's, are currently in foreclosure. In an email, Ramo Bey tells us he and his clients were a victim of predatory lending, and the cross-collateralization policy was never disclosed or explained to him at closing. He says he will go after the lender who caused all this damage.
Please.
Alex Ranja's attorney tells me they will be filing a motion to dismiss the case. Ramo is still holding real estate investment seminars on Facebook and encouraging church groups to invest.
Of course he is, because church groups are number 1 when it comes down to the suckers that you could possibly get to buy into your scam. Let me tell y'all something. If all else fails, this is what people will do. They'll turn to the church. They will turn to the black church in order to support them. Ain't that what Jay Morrison did? If all else fails, these types of people will turn to the black church and look for them to not only support, but they'll even look to basically pimp out their congregation members to get them to sign up for the fraud, for the Ponzi scheme. These types of people will absolutely take down anybody that they can possibly get their hands on, as long as it means that they further their own ambition and goals. Does not matter who bites the dust in the process. Does not matter how much funds or financials are lost in the process. They do not care. At the end of the day, their goal is to get your money up out your pocket and into theirs. Can we please be safer when we are looking to invest? Stop trying to jump on some type of trend, or stop trying to jump into an investment thinking that, oh, this is going to be the easiest thing in the world. All I got to do is throw my money at this and it's going to flourish. No worthwhile investment works that way. Even in the stock market, you don't get no turnaround like that. It takes time in order to make lucrative investments. Can we stop thinking that we can become overnight real estate agents and entrepreneurs? Prime example, woman's own cousin threw her to the wolves. Let her sign up for this. And these the same people that's talking about we need to uplift. I did this to uplift the black community. I did this for the community, to uplift the black community. I ain't do this for me. It's not for me. Lies, 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 all lies. No one does any of that shit to only help the black community when there's nothing in it for them. Red flag, red flag, red flag. Everywhere, all over this. But y'all think y'all too smart. Y'all think y'all got everything figured out. I got a leg up. I know somebody that I can get some money to, and they gonna triple exit in a month. Stop being delusional. I'll see y'all in the next video.